In my opinion, I think runners underestimate what strength training can do to benefit their running, because when you think about it, they're kind of like the opposites of what you want. You people go into the gym, they do a leg day, and then they can't run for 2 days normally because they're hurting and the legs are hurting. So then they can't run as much, and they think this is bad for my running. But I think they're just going about their strength training wrong. So in this video, that's what I want to show. I want to show how we do strength training correctly so we can run the next day and we can build into something better, prevent injury, and get faster running times.
Core gets simplified to probably ab exercises, whereas I think core, to me, describes the link and interaction between, say, your midsection and your legs.
So we just started off then. We did some oblique planks, 15 seconds, just a normal plank, and then we lifted the leg, which just focuses on working the hips a little bit more, both hips, for another 15 seconds or 30 seconds total, straight into 10, like really controlled hanging knee raises. So a little bit core, and then we're going to go into back extensions, and we're going to do ab rollouts. Perfect. This is going to be our core, so we're just going to start with this, and then we're going to get into our upper body session.
Jumping and landing off from one leg to another continuously for, beyond an hour in a lot of cases. There's a lot of force, like if you get in a lab and look at a running gait, jumping and landing, the force is going through the single side, can be multiples of your body weight depending on how fast you're running. It's big numbers. So if we just take that and look at it what it is on face value, jumping, landing, big forces, then I think it becomes pretty obvious that strength work's super important.
20's challenging, man.
Yeah, 20's well hard. It's like 8 reps 2 minutes. So you're down to one upper a week, and that's to tie in nicely with like slightly reduced calorie intake, body weight coming down, and just kind of your idea behind that is to like lose unnecessary muscle.
Yeah. So we've got 3 strength days. We've got 2 lower, 1 upper. I like to split up my lowers so they're at opposite ends of the week. So my first lower session will be on a Monday. My second lower session will be on a Friday. That upper body session doesn't really matter where it fits, but I like to do it on either a Wednesday or Thursday, so in between. And this just allows us to have optimal recovery between strength sessions.
So 100 push-ups, 50 pull-ups, that's first part of this section. What have you been doing the last few weeks? How have you been doing it?
So I've just been doing it as simple as minute 1, I do 20 push-ups. Yep. Minute 2, I do 10 pull-ups.
I'm going to do that for 10 minutes, which is just nicely.
Yeah. I think that's just a good way. You still get your rest. Say each exercise takes 20 to 30 seconds. That means that you're doing 20 to 30 seconds of work, and before you do that exercise again, you're doing like 90 seconds rest. Obviously, you're doing the other exercise than that, but it's
fitting into strength ratios with the rest. Back that up then with a little bit of mid-back work and some lateral raises. So
it's just pulling. So obviously,
inline chest support.
Yeah, with the back, I don't want to put any more extra stress on the lower back. So we've just been doing like chest supported rows, and then no loading. Like basically, I've not been carrying any weights. On my back, so I've just been doing lateral raises instead.
Perfect. So keep the deltoids pumped. And then just a bit of accessory with some arms and some
dips,
because running, it's very important to have good biceps, because it's the action of the arms.
Biceps with raises.
Absolutely. Ready? Yeah, so the easiest way to explain where Jake's at right now with his running and is in the block before the running specific training essentially. So we're in the kind of foundation, the general prep, we're rebuilding from an injury, we're being very cautious, we're not doing much dynamic work, everything's very repeatable. Jake's in a phase where he's actually just trying to improve some basic muscular contractile strength, the ability to hold certain postures and positions. That's the phase where Jake's in right now to one, allow his disc bulge to recover So not compress the spine further, release tension, remove the kind of pressure and contact with those mechanical parts of his body, which means that training right now for Jake is very basic. It's more rather than looking at force production through the hips, for example, or single leg, we're just building basic muscular contractile strength and bringing a real balance back to Jake and his kind of strength in his body after what's been a really tough 12 months.
Beautiful. Okay, let's go.
Easy. For round one, it gets you by round five.
Are we in a consistent 10 pull-ups now? I'm not going to see like I'm not going to see like a 7, a 1, and a 1, and a 1 at any point or anything like that.
Have we got 10?
Yeah, hopefully.
10 rounds of this would be hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
20-minute version.
Yeah, 20-minute version would be very hard. But again, I think right now it's just unnecessary, but like further down the line, it might be.
To be fair as well, 10 pull-ups at 69 kilos is easy, isn't it? Good. Nice, Jake. Nice aggressive pull. Think about the elbow down to the pocket. Come on, keep going. Grab range. Good. Beautiful. Last set of pull-ups coming up.
Like I say, with marathon training, we're just trying to maintain a little bit of upper body. Now, a lot of people probably won't even train upper if they're training for just a marathon, but because we're training concurrently for the marathon and we still need to stay strong for high rocks, we just want to maintain the strength, maybe lean up a little bit, which might result into losing some muscle mass, but you've got to do what you've got to do. Mad in it, you spend 10 years of your life trying to put on muscle since you was a teenager, and now you're trying to do the opposite, trying to get rid of muscle. Right, that's it.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, easy. The upper sessions are just basically keeping ticking over, maintenance, not lose too much for then leaving us on the back foot when we're back into the high rocks training. That's full range. Good. Hammering. Good.
A little bit heavy then, to be fair. That was an ego lift, that one. So this one, 10 to 15 reps.
So I reckon I've known Jake now for maybe 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that, and seen him, his trainings have changed a million times. This is the only exercise that he's done consistently across that time.
Trust me, it's a secret. Fakes pulls. No one fucking does them. It actually is a secret to healthy shoulders and, like, I think, like a good upper back, if that makes sense.
Obviously I'm training for a marathon, but I want to keep a healthy structure. And training upper body, you do require a bit of strength in your upper body. Probably, granted, not the strength that we're doing, but we're currently training for a marathon and high rocks. But for marathoners, it's important to still train your upper body to keep that running posture and running form.
Alright. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for setting this up.
Mate.
Makes me feel very special.
No, you are very special. In a good way. You are very special in many ways. Not special like Jack Rundle is special.
You're going to be Forrest Pump. 290 marathon. This is my guy, Forrest Pump. Matt, did you like that one?
No, I didn't. Stop rolling.
Should we carry on? Take it away.
But we'll start like just showing you what we have, and then we can talk about sort of the insights into the product.
So this is completely new,
Brand
as it
new.
stands, like for fall winter 26.
Yes. Yeah. So this is as technical a fabric as we've ever brought to market, mate. So this will be our inline sort of pinnacle level product.
Oh nice, so you've actually changed that from it being kind of like block, where you said about the sweat, kind of like
Exactly. Yeah.
to it being
Yeah, it's fully bonded.
like sweat wicking. That's cool, that is.
And then you've got a matching 2-in-1 short with the same outer fabric as the same level. And then a new inner lining, which is our most technical, I'd say, lining fabric we've done.
Yeah, the engineered mesh is the outer fabric is super lightweight. Obviously the perforations give it a lot of breathability. But then we got the nylon inner, so it's really sort of good for abrasion and super compact. So it keeps
The
them
foam fits as well.
Oh yeah, we've done it all.
No, it looks really cool because obviously with this back pocket you've got enough for the foam and like gels or keys or whatever else. You've got all the smaller pockets.
So,
Which is really
like,
cool.
obviously, this is our point of view around running and performance. Is there anything specific that you need from the product to get you to where you need to be? Is there anything
Do
in
you want
particular?
a 2-in-1, an outer shell with a lining? Do you want a singlet? Do you want a t-shirt?
For me, I love the 2-in-1. I think the 2-in-1 is great.
We have got it as a separate half tight and a separate outer
Yeah.
shell.
And then for the actual race, I'd probably say I'd probably just wear the half tight, just because if it's made the same, like there's just no need for that extra layer. Like when you put obviously
Yeah.
for the gym and for repping rounds and stuff like that, I think it's really good to be a 2-in-1, and for like then you can use it for training as well. You don't look like a freak in the gym wearing tights.
What are you planning on carrying on you when you're actually running? Are you planning on foam, gel?
Yeah, so I'll have foam and gels.
Yeah.
So this could be kind of like linked up with a running belt. Obviously, I know you guys have got one
Yeah.
already.
We've got a new accessory and a new running belt that you can choose.
Yeah. Oh wow. And then, yeah, that's cool as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So I think the next step, if you
It's definitely a level up, isn't it?
Yes. And I think this is the thing, but it's okay looking at it on the table. What we'd love you to do, and again, the team might kill me if we don't have the sample availability, but we'll get the sample availability to make sure at some point you get this wear testing.
Yeah.
So you go into the run having already physically familiarised yourself with the product.
That's incredible. That is really cool. And this is kind of like so this is like the aero short kind of, just it's separate. Will you be releasing them all like this as well?
Yeah.
Is that the plan? Yeah. That's cool.
So that's sample form for later in the year. But for you, I think there's a couple of conversations we've got with the factory around available fabrics.
Looks and things like that. I think there's been a few ideas bounced around. Obviously, we want to get your perspective on how you want that to look as well.
Yeah.
But just like from a really like quick idea that we were sort of thinking about is the idea of this sort of prototype. So sort of like running through, sort of building, sort of like that, a juxtaposition between sort of building you up as a prototype to.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think
Yeah.
that's yeah, it's really cool.
And
I
then
like that.
also like how the garments are also sort of like prototypes and it's sort of like evolving as one, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's whether or not we put the time on there or like even more personalisation, but how that would look, we're still sort of like thinking about.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that for me, I'm really happy with that. I think that's cool. It's very it keeps it very simplistic as well. You know, there's not too much on there. There's not.
I love the idea of doing this sort of more elite level prototype testing with you as our elite athlete to push the boundaries of performance in our product and see if we can get you to where you want to be. And then it drives for us a bit more of a journey towards bringing this to the consumer as well.
So would you, and then eventually when bringing to the consumer, would you just take off the prototype or would you leave it on, or
No,
would you do
leave it
maybe
off,
like
I think.
limited pieces with it?
Exactly. So this would be super limited capsule around the moment for you. We'd probably either make it a very limited capsule available for purchase or not even. We can play with the commercials what we want that to look like. Realistically, we just want it to be something that you feel is relative to the moment for you, amplifies the moment for you, because we want this to be a you moment, not just us as a brand and you tested product for us. So I think that's the balance we've got to find here. And then we have the conversation internally as to what we want to do. Do we make this available to purchase, or is this more of this is an elite focused project, and then we bring it to consumer at some point later down the line?
Yeah. Whichever, like, do you not super happy with it, like you know, being at Nike, you know, the pros and cons for both. Like, I think most of the athletes at Nike have like personalised it. It's like they don't even sell the stuff that they wear. Like,
That's exactly it, mate. So this would be something that they would look at to drive that innovation, like bring it to life, make sure it works, get you to the sort of the most elite moment, and then bring it through on a commercial sort of basis.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I don't know what to say.
Hey, listen,
It's crazy.
mate, this is a massive project for you,
Speechless.
but as a brand we want to support you through that. So everything we can do to get you there, we will do, mate. So I think the testing piece is next. I think the wear testing, making sure you're comfortable in the product.
Yeah.
So I think the product itself, we believe it to be the most technical product we've ever brought out, but I think making sure that you're comfortable with it is the next step. And then the Loughborough part of the journey will come a little bit later down the line, making sure that it does stand up truly to performance and everything that you need. Because climate-wise, Houston in January,
8 to 15 degrees. So it's
Okay,
not too bad,
so
yeah.
perfect.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect for running. Yeah, it's flat. The only risk is it might be windy. Right. Texas is a windy state.
yeah. Okay, all right. Well, we'll document every part of the journey, mate, and then with Ed's support.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, team. Appreciate it.
I'm back up on there. No, it should be good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But no, it's gonna be epic. Thank you so much. Thank you.
219 now.
I know, I need to start training. So when it comes to running, the definition of running is you're on one leg at one time. So you're jumping from leg to leg. So this means that we require a lot of balance within our running, and strength training is going to assist with this balance, and it's going to get the muscles that do help you balance, your glutes and your adductors, your quads, your hamstrings and your calves. It's going to get them nice and strong, so you don't get injuries. You don't get as tight, you don't get sore knees, you don't get sore hips, and instead we can have this body that's functioning correctly and we're not creating any imbalances.
So it starts the session always with a 10-minute bike warm up. That's just literally getting the blood flowing and the working area. It's a lower body session, like literally up to speed, warm, getting some oxygen to the area. Step 2 of the warm up for Jake is more of an activation based warm up. So we're picking 2 or 3 exercises to specifically target stability and then the muscles responsible for creating stability, so that we can then go into a really productive, predominantly unilateral workout and exercise selection for today's strength. So you've got your side plank clams, bottom underneath hip is stabilising, and then that stabilisation is allowing the movement of the top hip. So completely different movement pattern to running, for example, but principles are similar. You've got a standing leg and then you're jumping and you're swapping to the other leg. So you've got stabilisation and you've got dynamic movement working together, with the hips potentially working independently. And then similar with the adductor work that he's doing with a band, same principle, just a different angle. And then the glute bridges with a band are there just to literally get the glutes to fire and warm up and start working. So we've just got a mixture of isolating and working the muscles that are going to be worked in the session and getting the body to fire up the right neural pathways, muscles to stabilise properly, so then we can take that on to the main strength sections, which is going to be a bunch of single leg exercises. We've got some front foot elevated lunges, the walking lunges and the Bulgarian split squats. So pretty specific not only for running but for today's strength, which is the unilateral work.
Just try and keep that full length in the...
So with this exercise, front foot elevated split squat, I think it's great for stretching and strengthening both the ankle joint and the hip flexor. So that's it. It's just literally a warm-up set, just to open up the adductors a little bit. Sometimes I do 3 straight sets of that, but not today.
Feeling alright?
Yeah, feeling fine. Yeah. So do start the Bulgarian split squats.
Let's get the setup right, and then we'll get the dumbbells out. We're going to do the first set with 15s, yeah? By doing it straight in 220 straight sets.
We'll go 15 first. So both of these exercises, if you think about it, one, they're on one leg, but 2, your opposite leg is behind the hip, so your knee is behind the hip, which when we're running, we're going into that position. So we're actually lengthening both the hip flexor and the quad in both these exercises, and we're strengthening not just the working leg, but the other leg as well in that range. So they kind of, for me, they're ideal for running, because then we get into the good posture of extending through from proper running form. And that's with both the Bulgarian split squat and the walking lunges, you'll see as well.
Lower body is very much injury rehab, unilateral, like so evening out right and left side, and making sure that we're not carrying any overload, imbalance, tension through either the anterior versus the posterior, or vice versa, or the left versus the right. So it's really just about evening him out on a really basic kind of muscular level. You ready?
8 reps.
So 4 reps in reserve. That's a good number, that, when you're strength training but strength's not the main focus. So let's say you're running and you're trying to get a 10k PB or something, or an half marathon or an IROX. you can't afford to be sore day after day after day after day, because you've got to go and maybe do a track session tomorrow or a threshold run, or some tempo intervals or whatever. Too many people push the strength to either failure or maybe a 2 rep in reserve, leaving it at like a 4 rep in reserve and going for a 6 or 7 out of 10 RPE. You just don't get that same level of soreness the next day. You can maintain and even maybe build strength if you're smart, but you leave yourself in a better position then to do the real work, which is the running, essentially. You know, you're only supplementing the running with the strength work. You're not trying to destroy your running either form or ability through creating a massive amount of soreness from training to failure all the time. So I think a bigger rep in reserve is definitely really important when strength training for something like a marathon or even a high rocks. So the purpose of the accessory exercises, in the most part for running, will be either to improve stability or iron out the inevitable overuse of a particular part of the body. So for example, like calves and soleus get battered when you're doing a lot of running. So we'll put the tib raises in to even out and balance kind of the lower leg in terms of adding some work in the agonist muscle, the antagonist muscle. Beautiful. What are you working up to there? Can you see it?
Yeah.
10 more seconds. So finishing off with a little bit of core, static holds, full 360-degree workout. So it's going to go back extension holds, then we'll do side plank hold on one side, side plank hold on the other side, and then finishing off with a sit-up hold or a hollow hold, whatever you want to call it. Super important is getting equal amount of work across the full 360 degrees of the midsection. And then just a really important note about holds, most people hate them, they're super tough, but ultimately it's something that needs to be done. Static core strength, being able to maintain spine stability, super important, and something that gets neglected probably from everyone in any sport or any training program.
So one set done. Just gonna do one more set because we did quite a bit of core yesterday.
What would you say to runners who aren't strength training at all?
I think there's 2 types of people that currently run and don't strength train. There's the people that have perfect running form and just have a great natural ability of running. Everything's even and they don't get injured. And then there's the other people that just encounter injury after injury, and it's because their running form isn't great and they need to improve on that. So I'd recommend for them people to start strength training because it's going to improve your running form. It's going to get you using all the muscles that you need properly for running, and yeah, it's just going to help massively.